In the same time, during these 6 months, I was robbed. It's Barcelona. Whenever I was stopped by the police, my heart was beating like
Yeah,
crazy.
of course,
It was
because
like,
if they figure out that you're illegally here,
yeah,
that's like...
I was thinking they're gonna deport me at the moment right now. So they caught me and I spent like 2 days in jail.
Let's start? No.
Let's start.
Okay. Tell me how you ended up in Barcelona.
Well, it was a pretty weird story because like I didn't want to stay in Moscow. Yeah, because I'm from Moscow, so I studied there, I grew up there. And then I was just thinking about doing something else and in some other country. Well, my father was forcing me to study in Moscow and then start working there and stuff, but like I was thinking that it might have been a better experience to I don't know, to do something abroad. So I was thinking about moving to Barcelona or Berlin. So there were two options of mine. And I was moving with my girlfriend. We were dating back then. And she was studying German in the university. I was studying French. So we decided to, well, let it be not for you, not for me. Let's go to Barcelona because both of us, we didn't know Spanish. We've been to Barcelona, but like we didn't know Spanish or stuff like that. So we were like, okay, there is a pretty good master's program over here in English, so let's try. So initially it was just for 1 year. So something like that.
And after that, how long have you been staying here? For 8 years right now?
No, right now, 10 years already.
It's already 10 years
I
you've
moved
been...
here in 2014.
Wow, that's a long way. What was your first expectation when you were moving here with your girlfriend, a completely different culture, you didn't speak the local language? What did you expect from all of this adventure?
Well, I wasn't expecting much. I was not, I've been never ever a lover of Spanish culture or stuff like that. I didn't learn the language. Well, I knew about the culture, about the history, of course, but I was not expecting that much because like I really liked Barcelona when I went here before. So like, well, yeah, I knew that this city is pretty international, a lot of international students, international people in general. So I didn't expect that much. I knew some stuff about Spanish people, Spanish culture, like this mañana all the time or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was pretty calm about my expectations over here.
That's good. Did you know anyone who used to live in Spain by that time, or you were only coming with your girlfriend and you didn't have any friends, like any family relatives in here?
No. When we moved here, well, I had a classmate back in Russia who used to live here in Barcelona when he was a kid. But like when we moved over here, I didn't have any friends, any relatives, nobody.
Nobody. So it was just like you, two of you, just
two of
diving in
us.
the culture completely,
Two of us.
basically alone.
Deep dive in.
Was it scary at the beginning, or
It was.
what did you feel when you just...
It was a little bit weird because like when we came initially, I didn't speak Spanish, so I had some difficulties at first because right now people are speaking better English than they used to.
Yeah,
like
of course,
10 years
10
ago.
years ago, I can imagine.
And it was well, a little bit terrible because like, well, I knew French because I was studying French at the university, so French helped me a little bit with the Spanish because like many similar words or stuff like that. So I was, well, I don't know, I was always searching for some words on my phone. Yeah, and when I needed something, I was like, necesito, or stuff like that. But like, I think the first surprise for me was that like that nobody spoke English over here, even in some specialized shops or in some, for instance, internet company. When we were searching to install the internet, we went to Orange store. Over there was like these big letters that we speak English with a British flag over there. So we were like, finally, went there to the counter and there was this girl with the laptop. So we started to speak in English with her, like, yeah, we would like to install this and that. She was like, what the hell? started to type something on the laptop, then she turned, it was Google Translate. That's how we spoke. So the first year was like that. We were always trying to find someone that already spoke Spanish, in order to open a bank account, for instance, stuff like that, because nobody spoke English or like anyhow. So yeah, it was a little bit difficult at first.
Now the situation has become better because now Barcelona is more international city. There are way more tourists, international students as well. So I feel like there are more places where people speak English. Even in the banks right now, you can make English speaking manager. But you finally learned Spanish. Now you actually speak brilliant Spanish. How did that go? Was it quick for you? Was it rough, the language barrier?
Well, no, it was not quick because like initially the plan was to stay here for a year and then return. But then some things, some situations in the world started to occur more and more and stuff, and I decided to stay here. And the thing was that in my first year, I didn't even learn Spanish. So I was like, I don't know, getting some words or stuff like that, maybe reading something, but like it was not that I learned in some language school or stuff like that. So yeah, the first year was skipped for me for sure. And then I started to learn or to do something with the Spanish on my second year. So I went to some language school over there. It was, where was it? It was in Sabadell, Cerdanyola. It was from UAB, like this university, autonomous. And yeah, I went there for these courses for 4 months or stuff like that. And then, well, I just got this level, like B1, I think. I completed this level. And then I didn't learn anything. I had this language barrier all the time. So I don't know. I was successful at speaking Spanish back then only when I was, I don't know, having a fight with someone, I don't know, in a bank or stuff like that, or with some plumber.
Like
or stuff.
Arguments and fights actually helped you
it just enraged me, and it really did help, or when I was drunk.
Okay, so it's like two situations, either fight or being drunk, or maybe both at the same time.
Both.
And you just like embrace it all and start speaking Spanish fluently. That's amazing. That's truly cool. And how do you feel right now, your relationship with locals? Do you have more like local friends or still foreigners? What's your like international, let's say, group of friends in here?
Well, mostly foreigners for sure.
Mostly foreigners.
Yeah, because like, well, some Russian speakers, some English speakers, or some Spanish speakers, but that are not locals, not Catalans. Yeah, I've got some Catalan friends as well, but like, I don't know, 3 of them maybe. Not so many actually.
Do you think it's hard to maybe become friends with Catalan, like locals?
No, they are pretty easygoing. Just like I think, just because of my story that like I came here and just went over like this. But actually, they're easygoing, so I don't think that it's a problem to make friends with Catalans. Though sometimes in Spain, especially, they say that Catalans are a little bit difficult people, but not
they're slightly
that much.
different. I like to be more, I think, close-minded than the rest of Spain. Yeah.
Maybe there is, yeah. But not in Barcelona, because Barcelona is pretty open city. So I think here, if you really want, you can find whoever.
That's cool. Where did you meet your friends? So you've been here for so long, and when you just came here, you basically didn't know anyone except for your girlfriend. Who did you meet? Like how was it? Was it in the school? Was it in the university? At work later on? Where do you meet people?
It was mostly from the university when I was studying here, and then from work when I was working here. So well, actually, I got one of my best friends after the work at this Segway scooter company. It just happened because like we were going through the same thing. Because like I don't talk that much right now with my European friends. For instance, I have a lot of Dutch friends, but we don't speak that much right now because like, well, the interests are a little bit different right now. Everybody's got their own stuff to do, and well, it seems like with the Russian speaking community is a little bit closer because they usually understand your problems that you're facing, and you don't have to explain it to them. They feel you,
Yeah.
Maybe you also faced with this.
Yeah, I do understand what you're talking about. For example, if we mention talking about the documents or like how to obtain visa in here, whenever you speak to a European friend of yours and they don't understand what you actually have to do, because for them it's just they move here very peacefully, they have their European passport, they just live their free life. They can easily open any bank account they want. They don't need to go through all the bureaucracy stuff. But for us Russians, we actually first of all need to choose specific visa type for you, then like match the requirements, apply for it, wait a couple of months, then if you have luck it gets approved, then the fingerprints, then the plastic card, and then 1 year passes and you have to
go all over again.
Exactly. So that's a very different and difficult for us. I can understand. How was it for you? Was it an easy way with the bureaucracy in here for you, or was like some problems?
Well, when I came here, it was pretty easy actually to make here, because I came here with the student visa. I don't quite remember how was it exactly, but I don't remember having many problems back then, because like as far as I remember, my school, my university, they also helped me somehow with this. Like, I don't know, you have to make this, apply for that, or stuff like that. But then, then when I wanted to renew it, all the problems started. So I think, well, there was a list of these documents that you had to send them. Yeah, and you had to be in person, like in some places over there and here.
Like some immigration authorities office.
Yeah. And yeah, well, I gathered all the documents, and I'm pretty much sure that I did. But then I didn't receive an answer for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and stuff like that. And I received this letter from Extranjeria, from this foreign office, that like my case was archived for no reason actually, because I didn't receive a negative one. I didn't receive anything like that.
So they just sent it to archive and basically close the deal.
Yeah, and the next day when I received this answer, I received this letter from the police, like this immigration authority, that you got 15 days to leave the country. I was like, okay. But
that's a little bit terrifying when you're like living your life. Well, you've already settled down sort of in here, because you've been here not like for 2 weeks, but like for some years already. And bye-bye. 15 days, you pack everything and go.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was like that. Yeah, and then, well, I also applied for it, of course, made an appellation, because like, well, I was really sure that like I gathered everything and
that you were correct.
Yeah. But then, yeah, well, I made this appeal, but like they said that I had to wait about like 6 or more months for the answer. So I was like, all right, I'll wait. But then, yeah, this waiting ended up in nothing, because like in the same time, during these 6 months, I was robbed. It's Barcelona, it's a normal thing.
Ouch.
But like, yeah, not my wallet, unfortunately, my passport.
Oh.
So I didn't have the original copy of the passport. And when I finally received the answer from Extranjeria that like I was accepted, everything is all right, so you can come to the office, like get the cita, come to the office and stuff, I didn't have a physical passport of mine.
Oh.
So, well, I went there without it. They said like,
yes,
no.
They cannot, because they need to verify your identity and they need to see the document.
For sure. They were like, yeah, well, apply for a new passport then.
Then come.
Well, there was this Russian consulate, and there is this, I think.
There is a
Russian consulate over here. So when I was robbed, I applied for a new passport, but these smart guys, they were sending these kind of information to an office, like also like sort of like immigration or foreign stuff office in Moscow. They had been already closed for 2 or 3 years.
Amazing.
So I waited for my passport for a year.
Oh, wait. Now, like, just to understand the timing. You applied for the visa modification. How long did you wait before appealing it?
About 6-7 months.
So you apply, you waited 6-7 months waiting for the visa renewal. It got archived for no reason. Then you decided to appeal it. It was another 6-7 months.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're like it got
Meanwhile,
approved
yeah.
because you won the appeal. Meanwhile, you got dropped the passport, so you cannot right now get your document. And then you decided to like fix the passport with the Russian embassy in here. And they send the information to verify your nationality to some weird office in Moscow that has been closed for years.
Exactly.
Amazing. Wonderful. Okay.
So yeah, and then like I waited a little bit more. So yeah, in total I was waiting for my passport to be completed like for a year or so. And then like, yeah, without any hope already, yeah, I went to this foreign office over here. Like, I've got this copy of my passport. Look, they were like, a year already passed.
So your visa already has expired again. You
yeah,
need to
it was
renew
expired already. So they were like, we cannot do anything like
just
this.
apply for the new one.
Just apply for a new one, yeah. But like I already finished like 2 master programs, and because I've heard that like if you're living here for 3 years with the registration, like flat registration,
you can apply for the.
You can apply for this
arraigo type of residency,
social, in order to get like the working pre-contract or stuff like that. I was like, okay, I won't apply anymore for some student visa and stuff. I decided to wait these 3 years to complete in general and to get a residency over here. But didn't work as well.
How come? Yeah, like that's well, because my experience, I know that this type of residency, when you just live here for 3 years without any papers, or with some papers and you somehow lost them, and then you apply, you get it. I mean, pretty easily. How come you didn't get it?
The thing was with this arraigo social that well, nobody offered me a pre-contract. I was applying to many places here and there. I was working well without a contract, but nobody wanted to offer me a pre-contract. I was going to many interviews and stuff, telling them like just the only thing that I need is this pre-contract, but they were saying in the end no, because like it's so much paperwork for them.
It is also like here, if any employer wants to hire you and you're a foreigner and you also need the visa permit for that, for you later on when you get this visa permit, it's kind of mandatory to stay, I think, around 6 months with the same employer. You cannot be fired or quit from there. And for them as well, they need to keep you there. So it's kind of a very risky situation because they never know if you actually will be working.
They need to be crystal clear and crystal sure about you. And well, so nobody was ready to offer me this pre-contract. And then I recalled a guy, because like on my second year over here, I think, when I had documents, I got my Wi-Fi, I don't know, messed up or stuff like that. And I found a Russian guy who could have fixed it. Because like with the Spanish, when you're calling them, they're like tomorrow, and you're waiting for 2 weeks, never come. So he came there, he fixed everything and stuff. We started talking with him. And I was asking him, and well, what kind of residency do you have over here and stuff? He's like, I don't have any. I was like, well, so weird. So you're illegal then?
So you work.
He's like, yeah, well, I'm waiting a couple more years, and then like I'm gonna make something with that and stuff. And back then, it seemed really weird for me because like I couldn't have imagined that. Like, how can you live illegally over here?
In the European country?
Yeah, in the European country.
And work illegally. He was doing some service for you. He was fixing your internet, like phone, and he was doing that also illegally because he has no.
Of course.
He actually has no like right and permit to stay in Spain, neither to work.
Yeah.
Wow.
So back then it was surprising for me, and then in the end, in a year or so, I was in this kind of situation. I was like, so that's how.
that's how it happens. Wow. How did you get out of the situation?
Well, I waited for a pretty long time, like 5-6 years, more or less. And then I just made pareja de hecho.
Yeah, type of residency.
So it was just the easiest way to legalize over here, because like I literally was trying my best to find some pre-contract or stuff like that.
Yeah, but that might be hard for foreigners.
Yeah.
But when you were, so 6, 7 years, you lived in Spain without any paper, without, like, with your passport that basically has
With my passport and my expired NIE.
very nice expired card that has been expired for like what? Some years.
Ages, yeah. I
Oh,
was really
wow.
nervous at first because, like, I don't know. Whenever I was stopped by the police, my heart was beating like
Yeah,
crazy.
of course,
It was
because
like,
if they figure
okay,
out that you're illegally here,
yeah,
there's like
I would thinking they're gonna deport me at the moment right now, but like actually they didn't care that much. So they were just like, whatever.
And out of all that, you figure stuff out. So now you actually have a 5 years residency, long-term one. You have work, you're employed. So that's for me, that's like a successful story.
Well, in the end,
At the end, yeah, kind of a good finish into that. But how did you make this pareja residency? Because I mean, I know that you need to sort of co-live with a person who has the European passport, not necessarily Spanish, and you need to sort of, well, not get officially married, but like prove that you're co-living and you're like a stable couple, and based on that, they can give you the residency. How did you do that?
Well, let's say that like I met a really nice person to help me with that. So we stayed in one place. Yeah, I was also reading how to make it, like what papers are needed to make it. So I was just like leading this person with me, like here, there. This person was ready for everything. Like, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. So yeah, in the end, everything went really good. I only paid with my nerves because like it was
Energy
pretty
and time.
stressful, and time, yeah, of course, because also you had to wait a lot and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically like that.
But this person, who is a European citizen, was okay doing it with you?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I know many people who are stable relationship with many European other like citizens, but due to this different mentalities, because for us, well, in Russia, the co-living thing does not really exist. We don't sign the papers to prove that. It's just it's either the official marriage or nothing, really. We say here. I think the mentality is slightly different because I've seen many couples who, for example, one person who needs the residency, another one who is European, so they don't need it to stay in Spain. And when the first person asks for the help for their partner, not like they're in love and this stable relationship, seems like the European couple would be like, I don't really want to register it because I don't feel like. So they start like saying that it's very wishy-washy, you know, it's like kind of sounds like a marriage for them and they're not ready for it because here people get married later than in our countries. So I'm very happy and surprised that you managed to convince the person to actually do it with you, because I've seen many even like stable couples who do not.
Yeah, me too.
At the end.
Because like people are confusing this pareja de hecho thing with the
official marriage.
official marriage, as you said as well. So, and I don't know, sometimes it's really hard to just explain that it's not like that. And like, if a person makes this pareja de hecho, this person is way more, let's say, not in danger, but like in a weaker position than the European person, basically.
Yes, that's true. But that's good that everything turned out good for you, because I remember, well, I was doing the same type of residency with my partner, and I'm endlessly grateful to my partner because he offered me to kind of also save me from being illegal in Spain and also losing my papers. And when we went to sign the notary papered document that we are co-living together and we are an official couple, we got a very interesting person who was doing it for us, the notary man. He was saying such words that it seemed like we were actually getting married. He was literally like, I wish you to be in all the luck during your family time together, happiness and prosperity. And I'm like, what's going on in here? We're not marrying, right? Like, no, please. And I was with a lawyer, and I did not know that this was gonna turn up like this, because my lawyer was like, just go there, you just sign the paper, bye-bye, we'll leave, 5 minutes. And then the whole story and beautiful these arrangements come out. I am freaking out. My boyfriend is freaking out. He's sitting like, what did I sign up for? And I was honestly thinking that if he decides to stand up and run away right now, I would totally understand him. Like, no offense taken, because I would have done it. Well, like, what am I dragging him into? But he was very, very patient and waited, and when we sort of like went and celebrated like for fun, because also for us was a fun experience. But I was freaked out, honestly. I was freaked out for him, for me, for the whole situation. What are we doing? But at the end, yeah, everything turned out great as well.
Well, yeah, well, I didn't have this kind of like a notary person like that, but we were preparing for many things that they might have asked and
Yeah,
stuff.
like sort of interviewed to prove that you're really a couple.
Yeah, so that proved that we are really a couple and stuff. So we were just like brainstorming before that. Like if he asks this, then like you're sleeping on the left side of the bed, I'm on the right side of the bed and stuff. Like yeah. And at first, well, yeah, I made it with a friend of mine and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were trying to make us like more gay and stuff, but then like we saw that nobody actually cared about that, so we were like, yeah, okay, chill.
Okay, you were lucky because your notary didn't really care. Ours, he didn't check if we were a real couple or we were not, but the whole story and sort of I congratulate you to register this couple officially. I was honestly freaked out. I was like, I think I'm married right now, and I was 21-year-old. My boyfriend was older, he's 25, and we were like two young people going to with this signed document celebrated to Burger King because we cannot afford anything else, and it looks so weird. And I'm like, well, I guess the milkshake, yay, let's cheer it up.
I hope I didn't miscalculate.
I really hope so, because I was like the night after, I was literally Googling what we signed, because at that time I didn't have that fluent Spanish. So obviously I understood what was the notary saying, and my boyfriend, he doesn't speak Spanish yet, he speaks only English. So the whole procedure was in English. But still, the document we sign is in Spanish. And I read everything. It's like, what did I sign right now? And this is registered in some governmental institution. And I have no idea what's that. I'm not sure. But everything turned out great. And wow. Yeah. The Spanish bureaucracies might be very, very harsh on you. And it's very, very difficult to get out. Tell me how you found the job in here. Was it very difficult to find it for a foreigner? Is there like... there is a thought that locals like to hire locals, that it's not that likely that a foreigner would be hired.
Well, not in Barcelona, I'd say, because like, well, maybe in some smaller towns like Tarragona or something like that, maybe it is. But here, I think, because like some of the friends of mine, for instance, these Dutch guys, that still live here for more than 5 years already, I think, or even more, they don't quite speak Spanish, but still they do have the jobs. And it's pretty easy if you know a couple of foreign languages. It's pretty easy to find a job even without speaking Spanish or Catalan over here. Well, for me, it was a little bit more complicated, because like one thing to get a job for a European person, the other one is for like non-EU citizen. I was searching everything that I could. At first, I was working as a freelance translator. Then I was writing some texts, some essays, some final papers for some students.
Like assignments, tasks.
Like assignments, tasks, thesis, or stuff like that.
You were writing thesis and like for money?
For money, yeah. I didn't like this. I didn't like to write my own thesis, but like this was like really suffering for me. I was like, I hate this.
Curious question, how much one thesis costs?
One thesis, right now, I'm not sure, but back
how
then,
much do you charge?
500.
500 for a thesis?
Yeah.
Well, I should do that.
Well,
that's a profitable stuff.
But the thing is, like, I didn't quite like it. I finished, about the thesis, I finished only one.
Because that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I switched more on these translations or stuff like that. And then, but like, it was not a stable job because back then I wasn't.
It's a freelance.
I was a freelance. I didn't have documents or stuff like that to start some work legally over here. Then, like from some friends of friends and stuff, I found another job that was like more in field. Let's say I was working in these touristic flats. I was making check-in, check-out, like controlling the flats, what was going on over there, like meeting the tourists. Yeah, like I don't know, doing some other stuff like organizing cleaning or stuff like that. And yeah, I was working there for almost 2 years.
Okay.
But yeah, there was one thing that I didn't know, that these guys that I was working for, they didn't know they owned these flats. So they were re-renting these flats.
Okay. And you did not know that?
I didn't know that. And I found that out like pretty interestingly as well.
Okay.
Because we were moving out from one flat to another one because the flat contract was ending. Yeah, well, I learned it like a little bit later on because at first they didn't tell me about that. So they were like, we are moving from one flat to another one. Could you organize this move out? Like we just needed to like store all the furniture or stuff like that somewhere else. So yeah, I called some guys, to make these kind of like disassemble stuff like that, and the transport stuff. But like everything went to a crap starting from the beginning because like these van just broke somewhere close to Tarragona and couldn't come. So I had to find some other van like pretty quickly. And then we were waiting. The flat was somewhere in Raval. And we were waiting outside with a lot of furniture, a lot of stuff everywhere.
And narrow streets of Raval.
Yeah.
Not the cleanest ones.
Not the cleanest ones. There was already an evening as well. And then like I learned that this flat was actually re-rented because like the real owners showed up. And they were really...
And you did not know the real owner, right? You thought that the guys were the real owners.
Yeah. I didn't meet the real owners, never. But like I was feeling there was something weird with all of that because my bosses were a little bit more nervous than they were supposed to be.
Yeah, that they were like doing something illegal.
Yeah.
You might like thought that.
Yeah. And then like they showed up. They called a bunch of the police. I don't know like how many, like 20 of them or even more. Like some cars, some on motorcycles. Like they were catching a terrorist. So they caught me and I spent like 2 days in jail.
You spent 2 days in jail.
Yeah, and then like...
And you were like, you were innocent, you didn't know.
Well, yeah, but like I was obviously over there because these transportation guys, when they were hearing about the police, they just left. I was down there with all this furniture, didn't know what to do. I was calling to my boss, he was saying like, okay, leave this furniture over there.
Run.
I was trying to run away, but I didn't manage to. So yeah, and then like, I was having these kind of like a serious, after I was released from the jail, I was having quite a serious discussion with my bosses. I was like, what the hell was that? And they were like, well, the thing is that like we are
They brought you into something that you clearly did. Were they caught?
No, because they were not there. I was there because I was in charge.
But like later on, were they caught?
Later on, yeah, because like after this discussion with the bosses, I decided to leave because like I was like, no way.
For sure.
This. And then as far as I heard, some of them they were actually caught because like they were not stopping with a couple of flats. They were trying to get some more and more and more. Yeah. So and then in the end, it was a pretty big story over here actually.
Oh my
so yeah, some of them they were caught, but like we got what we got. But like I also was having the problems, so that's why like with the residency, because they opened a case against me. I went then to the courthouse like in a couple of years after that. So yeah, it also kind of like didn't work really good for my residency.
Yeah, I can imagine, because here if you have like some, well, if you sort of break the law or anything, obviously going to have some like police recordings on you, okay? But here that's even worse, because you've actually been caught and been 2 days in jail, and you had to, I think, express like everything in yourself in the court. This is crazy. May I ask, how was the local jail?
Terrible, actually.
Terrible?
I didn't quite like how...
Never thought I would have asked that, but
I would put 1 star out of 5.
1 star out of 5 to the local jail. Okay.
Like, you know that in Russian, sometimes it's called, like in a slang Russian,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
called some sort of like a monkey place or
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It was like a monkey place
was a monkey
because like
place.
everybody was screaming, shouting, like you could barely sleep over there. You don't see a light from, because like it's somewhere down there underground. The light is always on. They give you food 2 times a day, like water, like a glass of water and like a small sandwich with a chicken or something like that. And that's it. And like you were sleeping there on some mattress that is like was vomited on like many times
That's
before that.
disgusting.
So yeah, I didn't quite like it, and like I was really mad when I went out of there because
You
I didn't
literally
expect
wanted
that.
to like, of course, you literally was caught and brought up in there out of nowhere.
Yeah, well,
Wow, that's crazy. Because I was gonna ask you about tell me the crazy story that happened to you, but I think this is clearly one of. I don't know if there are any more crazy stories, but I think this is one of the most of them. I hope at least. Okay.
I think so. I think so.
That's good. I mean, kind of weird to jump to the happy story right now, but I was thinking to ask you, what's a very happy moment that happened to you in here?
Here?
Let's switch to positivity vibes.
Well, I met my girlfriend
That's cute.
right now, so we are close. For how many? Oh, I'm in trouble right now. 3 years.
3 years, okay.
Yeah, 3 years. So like, I've got a dog this year. Like
You have a home.
Yeah, yeah.
You have a girlfriend.
Well, I
a
have a
home.
girlfriend. I have everything that I need right now.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Well, regarding the job, might have been better right now, like the official job right now. But like, yeah, everything is going step by step to something better anyway. Because like, yeah, well, sometimes if you're having some troubles, some difficulties, the only thing is not to surrender, and that's it.
Yeah, that's very, very true. If you look at yourself 10 years ago, 2014, when you were only thinking to move to Spain with your ex-girlfriend, considering all the experience you've been through and everything you've gone through in here, would you still like move here? Would it be a yes to move in? Or would it be like, no, this was some crazy stuff, would never ever, if I would have known, no.
Well, if I would have met myself from 10 years ago
Yeah.
and just like, I don't know, just told him some stories that I had over here, myself from 10 years ago wouldn't have believed that anyhow.
Probably.
Well, because like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
But if to say in the end yes or no, yes, because like I wouldn't have been the person that I am right now. So I think a yes. But maybe if I knew some more stuff, I wouldn't have done so many mistakes and so many mess ups.
You became wiser right now with the age and with the
sure.
experience. That's good. If someone asks you to move or not to move to Barcelona, to the place where you are right now, from your hometown, from Moscow, would you recommend? Or would you be like, no, choose a different one?
I would. I
would recommend?
Yeah, because like I was thinking about this recently, yeah, about living somewhere abroad and stuff. And some of my clients, they also asked me, like, what do you think is the best city to live in? I would have said Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Because like here you can find everything. You want some museums, here they are. You want some sea or sea resorts, everywhere over here. You want some skiing, 3 hours away and you are in Andorra.
Yeah.
You want some clubbing, you want something else or stuff like that. You can find pretty much everything over here. And well, I think, and talking about people, local people as well, not only locals, yeah, but like even the foreigners, but that are local over here.
Became locals right now.
Yeah, that became locals right now. I think with everything together, yeah, it's one of the best cities to live in. I've been to some other cities as well, as a tourist, of course, but some of them I was living for some time. For instance, I lived in Paris for a month and stuff. I wouldn't have recommended Paris to anyone because like I didn't really like the city. And well, here you've got everything. You've got nice people, you've got nice climate, nice food, and you've got some also future opportunities, because like if you speak many languages, you can easily find a job, and you can find a job in many places over here, many spheres. So yeah, I would have recommended it for sure.
That's great. If I ask you to summarize everything that happened to you in here and describe the city where you are right now in one word, like anything, adjective, noun, verb, whatever, just one word that would describe the city, what would it be?
Barcelona, you mean,
Yeah,
right?
like describe the city where you are right now with only one word.
Everything,
Everything. Barcelona is everything.
I guess.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. No, I'm very grateful for like talking to you and everything what you told to me and not to anyone who's gonna view it. But that's a cool story. That's a very cool experience because I've spoken to many other foreigners, different ages, different nationalities who move here. But I think that your experience and everything that you've gone through has been one of the craziest stories that I've heard. And I really, really wish you and your life, I don't know if you want it, but to be more calm and quieter, like a little more chill experience, also like to rest. But I think that's what's going on right now with you. So I really wish this to continue. And thank you very much for coming and
Thank you.
sharing the story.
Thank you very much, Sasha.